Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to the first actual live event where we're going to be taking live questions. We're going to be talking about the housing market. I'm going to be joined by Vinny, who is on here right now, and I'll just pop him up here on the screen. Vinny Sabatino, he is a mortgage lender. I'll let him introduce himself and give some of his own credentials so you guys know who he is, who he works for, and everything. But we're going to be talking about the market today, what's going on in the economy. There's a lot of stuff going on in the housing market and the economy right now. And we're going to kind of address both things from the real estate side, where that's kind of where my strong suit is, and then Vinny's side from, more of the lending aspect and the mortgage business. So we'll get right into it. But first, Vinny, why don't you just kind of introduce yourself, tell people a little bit about who you are, what you do.
Sounds good. Well, first off, I want to thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it. Been watching your videos for a couple of weeks now and very impressed. So great job. Keep that up because you're adding value. My name is Vinny Sabatino. I'm originally from the Midwest, moved down to Southwest Florida about 18 years ago and absolutely love it. Love living the Southwest Florida lifestyle. My wife and I live here now and we have a great time doing, Florida lifestyle stuff, beaches, cruising down with the top down and go to Sanibel Captiva when those are operational, not from the hurricane. And been in the mortgage industry 5 years now, and moved over to the broker side and offering a lot of products for people, more creative financing. And I'm known for massive communication throughout the process and closing loans on time, which is a huge win. So, like I said, originally from St. Louis, came down to Southwest Florida the summer before my senior year of high school and haven't left.
Yeah.
It's basically just a really nutshell about me. I love blueberry pancakes and bourbon. I love fresh sheets on a bed, and I love the smell of fresh cut grass during the summertime.
Awesome. You still get the kind of that surreal feeling when you wake up in the morning. You still feel like you're living in paradise down here, even though you've been here for a while?
Every morning, I have my cup of coffee on my lanai, have the palm trees, have a little fountain right by my place. Great place to read a book, write down my goals, write down what I'm grateful for, and do some yoga.
Yep, that's awesome.
Yep.
So why don't we start off? I mean, everybody's, on my channel, most people have heard kind of my take as far as what's going on in the housing market each week.
Sure.
But what I really want to do is kind of dive into where you're seeing things going or what's happening on your side of things, because I can't really give that perspective in detail as much as you would be able to. So.
Sure. What do you have in mind?
Yeah, why don't we just start off with like a broad overview, kind of a high level overview of what's going on in the market on the lending side. So what do you see happening in as far as what's going on with interest rates and the buyers? Are you seeing, I guess, just overview, what do you see going on right now?
Southwest Florida market?
Yeah.
Southwest Florida market is, Rick, I feel like Southwest Florida is insulated from a lot of things. Yeah. People want to always live the Florida lifestyle. People love the beaches. People love the restaurants. And they will pretty much need to do what they need to do to come down here. Especially in the Southwest Florida region. We have some of the best beaches. We have some of the best restaurants. We have some of the best hotels. We have the most beautiful sunsets in the entire state of Florida, in my opinion. Yeah. So we're still seeing a lot of people coming and moving down here. Now, with working remotely, why would someone live in their studio apartment in New York City spending $8,000 a month when they can buy a home close to the beach and, right, have the same style of lifestyle, have the same style? So Southwest Florida region, still hot. I don't think it'll ever go cold, right? The housing values are staying strong. The prices are coming down because everyone got really greedy in 2001 and 2002. We saw multiple offers. When I mean multiple offers, I mean 45 offers on a home within 12 hours, which is insanity. Yeah. Multiple offers, people bidding like crazy, $50,000 to $150,000 over the ask price. That is not stable in any market. Right. What goes up must come down. So now we're seeing a lot of stability for housing pricing on housing, which is a great thing because when you're doing financing and you get that appraisal and it's a little short or a lot short, you could run into a couple issues. So the great thing about right now is we're seeing homes stabilize and we're seeing values where they're supposed to be. So there's a lot of stability right now in Southwest Florida. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you're pretty much echoing what I've been saying. I know, everybody's looking at what's going on in the economy right now, and a lot of buyers have been on the fence or hoping for a crash, but it's a tough thing to see coming right now, especially in our area, because like you said, I feel like we are a little bit insulated. People always want to be down here. Even after the hurricanes and everything, a lot of people are selling because they can't afford it, but there's still a lot of people who are coming into the area from, like you said, higher, more expensive areas, New York City, Chicago, California. They're all moving down here, and they're looking at paying twice as much up where they live versus down here.
And let's talk about the elephant in the room. Everyone always wants to know about interest rates, right? Yeah. That's always the first question I get on the phone. Hey, what's your interest rate today? That's a loaded question. There is no way a human being, there's like 37 different factors that work into an interest rate. So here's a little education on how interest rates work, okay? Interest rates are tied to inflation. Right. That's it. So if inflation goes down, mortgage rates go down. If inflation goes up, mortgage rates go up. So right now, we are starting to see more of a stability in inflation. The CPI report on May 10th came out today. Yep. We saw it exactly where we planned it to be at, and mortgage rates reacted. The market reacted, interest rates came down. So if you have a financed buyer right now, or you are buying a house, and today was probably a good day to lock your interest rate in. Right. And we're going to continue to see a downward trend in mortgage rates coming down towards the summer.
Okay.
That's going to be it. Now, I want to also tell you people about interest rates and how they work for different types of properties and different occupancy types.
Yeah.
So let's say a property type is a huge factor when you're trying to buy a home. If you're buying a condo, condos are always going to have a little bit of a higher interest rate. Why is that? Because there's more liability, there's more risk for lenders, because you have home. If you're in the middle, the lender also has to worry about these two people, right? So you don't know what they're doing over there. So there could be a fire, there could be things like that, a flood. Right. So there's more risk. If you're buying a second home or an investment property, those rates are going to be higher because lenders got privy to the Great Migration and they found out everyone was moving to Florida, right? Yep. So those are going to require a little bit more of a down payment, and the interest rate's going to be a little bit higher. Right. So that's something right there. I lost my train of thought. Where was I?
The interest rates coming down.
Interest rates are coming down. So we're going to see inflation's coming down. So interest rates are going to be coming down during the summertime. Sure. So if you're looking to buy, this is a great opportunity. If you bought within the last 6 months, don't worry. Everything's fine. You can simply refinance if you qualify for a new refinance loan. Very important. Because people are still going to buy no matter what the rates are. I mean, in 1980, they were, 15%. People still bought.
Right.
Yeah. It's just now it's media. Media is pumping all this information out, which more people have more information. Is it credible? Maybe not.
Yeah.
So you got to remember who your source is, for sure.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I still talk to some of my clients. I mean, I asked them what they paid for their homes in the past, and some of them have been 11, 12, 13%. So it's funny how, over the last 10 years, as kind of bull market we've been in, how used to low interest rates, artificially low interest rates because of the financial crash in 2008, sure. How artificially, we got used to those rates. And now everybody's complaining that we're back to around what an average rate has been throughout history.
The average rate is where we're at right now.
Yeah.
The average rate.
I think the bigger thing is that we're now paying higher interest rates than what we're used to, but at the same time, we're not getting that on the other side. The banks aren't paying us 6% on our money that we're loaning them. So I think that's kind of where it comes in a little bit, but where people are upset about it. But with everything that's going on right now in the banking sector, what do you see happening with the crisis as far as like what's the cause of it? What is because there's a lot of stuff going on with commercial real estate and all those, potential adjustments to their rates coming up in the next year or so. $20 trillion market. You got the everything that's going on with the Fed, whether they're going to reverse course or raise another 25 basis points. Like, what do you see happening with that stuff right now in the banks?
I think Fed is going to put a halt for raising interest rates for the Fed fund rate. So when the Fed raises interest rates, that does not mean mortgage interest rates.
Right.
Let's just call that what it is. It's not. It's actually a good thing for mortgages. When the Fed increases interest rates, what it does is that is for car loans, that is for credit cards, that is for home equity lines of credit. These are what the Fed is doing. Now, with the banking crisis, to answer your question, these banks that have gone out, the last, I think is it 2 or 3? I think it's 3. Three went down.
Oh yeah.
They invested very wrong.
Yeah.
They invested in bonds, and the bonds went up when the interest rates went up at a rapid pace, and everything that they held lost value.
Right.
Now, when you're talking about mortgages, let's talk about my realm. My banks, my lenders, they are backed by a very large institution. So there's not going to be a fallout on mortgages. This is not 2008 when we're, a school teacher has 7 homes.
Right.
That's just irresponsible lending. We are crossing T's, dotting I's, making sure everyone is qualified, make sure they have the ability to repay. We're doing the due diligence in the front, so nothing on the back will negatively impact our clients, our friends' lives.
Now, because a couple of the markets like the auto loan market where they have there's a lot of defaults potentially happening right there. And then you also have the commercial market. Do you see if something does happen in either one of those markets or both of those markets, do you see that kind of trickling into the residential market at all or causing issues there where we start seeing defaults or things like that?
No, I do not.
Okay. As far as, obviously right now, the huge thing is affordability. And I think that's not just across the United States, but more especially down here in Southwest Florida.
Yeah.
Even from, part of that is the insurance and everything that's going on with that. When we bought this house, we didn't need flood insurance, and then FEMA rezoned everything after Hurricane Ian. And then we had a surprise bill for another $4,000, for the year, which
I understand.
It's a couple $100 extra a month. It's not horrible, but now multiply that times all the people who are in the same boat, who didn't expect to be paying for more than they are. And you have rising rates, inflation, all that stuff going on. Things are more expensive, right? So with that, is there any special programs out there? I know, what's that new one for?
Hometown Heroes.
Yes, the Hometown Heroes program is one of the new programs out there. Maybe you can explain a little bit about that, and then if there's any other programs that you know of.
Well, there's a lot of programs, man. Honest to goodness, there's Governor DeSantis he gave a real boost into Florida's economy. The Florida Hometown Heroes program was originally designed for first responders, teachers, nurses, firefighters, anybody basically in any type of medical field. So what now is going to happen June 1 of 2023, any first-time home buyer that is employed by a Florida-based company could receive up to $35,000 in down payment assistance and or closing costs. Huge win for first-time home buyers. Now, if you take that, it's a grant, so they're granting you those dollars because they want to stimulate the economy with first-time home buyers. They want to stimulate it. So now, if you were ever to sell that property, if you were ever to refinance that property, if you were ever to change occupancy from that property, that is going to have to be repaid. So if you were to sell your property, that would be what's called a second lien on the property.
Yeah. You
would have to pay that back. So you would just, once you close on your house, you just deduct the amount that you got granted, and then you get your net from the sale.
Okay.
First time or First-time home buyers also have a 3% down payment option. There is down payment assistance programs besides Hometown Heroes. We're doing a lot of no income verification loans. Now, the rates are going to be a little bit higher. You need a little bit of a higher credit score and need a lot of reserves. However, those are for the more self-employed borrowers, 1099 borrowers who don't really show a lot of income because they know how to work the tax code. Right. They know how to work it. Yep. So we're doing stuff like that. There's just so many different programs to get some people inside of homes. You obviously have to qualify depending on what the box is and what the matrix is. But what we're doing down here in Florida is very, very important in getting people inside of homes.
Right. Now, I think one of the biggest questions on everybody's mind, and, I've spoken to it a little bit, but I'd like your take on it, is what do you see happening with home prices in our area over the next 6 to 12 months?
I think they're going to stay stable.
Yeah.
I think they're going to stay stable. They might increase a little bit. I don't see them really coming down. Just the last, I would say probably just the last 2 to 3 months, we're not really seeing any more seller concessions for buyers. That kind of went out the window. But I do have tactics and I have systems that I can try to negotiate with the listing agents on how to get some credit for my clients, just in case they need to, buy down their interest rate, closing cost assistance, things like that. But I don't see really the market doing anything like it did last 2 years. For the next 6 to 12 months. I think we're in a really nice, stable arena. Would you agree?
Yeah. I mean, as far as on my side, what I'm seeing is appreciation over the last 3 years has been 50% for our area. So that's like you said it right in the beginning, that's completely unsustainable. Right now, what I'm seeing over the last month or two, we've seen about a 1 to 2% appreciation rate in prices. So they're really starting to level out, which is good because we're also entering kind of a little bit more of a balanced market. We're not on 1 month's supply anymore. We have 3 to 4 months of supply in the market right now. The only thing that, and I've mentioned this several times in past videos, the only thing that I'm looking at right now is with the Fed rate, possibly pausing or reversing course, is that going to, what's going to happen with the bond market? Because a lot of times the bond market is what's happening with mortgage rates too. So if everybody moves into the bond market, which they have been, that usually drives yields down. People are nervous. So driving the yields down, mortgage rates come down too. But if they reverse course, people might try to get back into the stock market, try to hit a bull run early, which would, probably raise the bond market and raise the rates a little bit more, which would slow the buying side down again. But over the last month, we started to see, quite a few buyers entering the market. And
we're starting to see multiple offers again. I've been preaching this for probably about 6 months. When you have higher interest rates, people are scared and they're like, "Oh, I'm going to wait to time the market."
Right.
Which is fine for some people, but timing the market is not as important as time in the market.
Yeah.
Right. So rates are coming down a little bit. Now we're starting to see more competition. Now you're starting to see more offers. Right. So this is going to be a trend going into the summer. So if you're thinking about buying, this is probably a good time for you to do it.
Yeah, with rates coming down. I mean, the other thing too that people need to consider is why are you buying, first of all, because that's a huge factor. If you're an investor, then maybe timing the market is something you want to do. But if you're looking to buy a home and you're planning to live there for more than 3, 4, or 5 years, most of the time, a market crashing takes 3 years, right? 2008, it started in 2008, but it didn't really hit bottom until 2012, 2011. So that's 4 years you just missed out that you're paying rent for somebody else. And then at the same time, it recovered. And now we're back to, if not, we're higher than what, paid for homes back then. It took a while, but still, if you're planning to live there, it doesn't, I don't think trying to time the market is always the best case scenario, but again, it depends on your situation too. So
sure.
But The other thing too that, everybody's been wondering about is, and we really don't know where things are headed yet, but home insurance and flood insurance, those are big topics right now. How has that been affecting the lending side as far as mortgages go?
Well, you got to have a good team behind you. You got to know who can bind a policy within Florida. Here's a little tip that I don't know a lot of people do know. Actually, I'm just doing this currently right now with one of my FHA buyers. The seller has a existing flood insurance policy. It's $860 a year.
Wow.
So he will take that over. So if you're in a flood zone and the seller has a policy already, you can basically just transfer the policy over to the new buyer. It's just a transfer. Simple, easy, beautiful. If you don't have that option, then I definitely would recommend talking to multiple carriers that can bind a contract or bind a policy within your county, because some insurances don't bind in certain counties. So this is where you're going to want to really so the team that you choose to represent you when you're buying a home, whether it be a mortgage lender, realtor, homeowners insurance agent, title company, you want to make sure that they all work together well. They might know each other. So this is why when I get a buyer, I always introduce them to my homeowners insurance agent, because I know we've done multiple deals together. Right. I know how fast they are. I know how efficient they are. I know how premiums are. I know that she'll get the job done.
Right.
So sometimes people want to do the bundle with their car insurance, and I understand that. That's, they might get a savings, but listen to the people that are in the industry. They do it on a daily basis. They can have your best interest at heart, because your success is their success. Right. They want you to succeed. They want you to purchase the home. They want you to move in. They want you to tell all your friends about them. They want you, they have an invested interest in you, because if you don't get in that home, we fail as, your team. Right. And we don't want that, because if you're working with people that are motivated and hungry and want to help, that's their goal. That's what drives them. That's what inspires them. That's what gets them up in the morning. Yeah. So I would just say, work with someone that is reputable, that has a good referral source, then you can make sure that happens for you.
Yeah, and two little tidbits about what you just said. The assumption of somebody else's flood insurance policy does work. The only thing is the seller has to be willing to actually send you over and allow that to happen, which I have had actually a seller in the past who did not want to provide flood insurance. Yep, I don't know why. They didn't want to provide it to a buyer. So
interesting.
Yep, it does happen. The other thing too is, I always tell, first of all, for all my clients, I always do a shop around for insurance policies for them. I think every agent should do that. But like you said, the bundle sometimes does work, but they're also, you usually want to shop around for multiple policies or with multiple people, because some people have different networks. They can get better rates, or on the other side, offer you more for the same rate for coverage. So,
and we're in Florida, so make sure you get hurricane protection.
Right. Yeah. So, I guess why don't we just kind of wrap this up? But
sure.
What, over the next 6 to 12 months, where do you see, what do you think is going to happen with everything here? I know we've kind of done that, but just kind of to wrap it up and sum everything that we've been talking about, what's your prediction, I guess you can say?
Well, this is a very common saying, no one has a crystal ball. But if you're talking in regards to the real estate market in Southwest Florida, we'll be just fine. Okay. Everything will be all right.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
that's my summary.
Yeah. It's fine.
Everything will be good.
Yeah, I think like we've kind of been talking about, everything it's really hard to tell right now what's happening. I know everybody wants things to crash. I can't say that it will for sure. There's really no indications as of yet.
There's no crystal ball.
Right. And even with everything that's happened with the banking crisis, there could be more on the way, but it seems like, I don't know, the Fed or the banking system itself, they're all trying to keep it all together the best they can, whether that's with duct tape or glue, I don't know. But Yeah, I think they're going to do their best to try to keep everything away from how it was in 2008. But at the same time, black swan events do happen. Things happen. We really don't know. But if you guys are watching my channel,
it's always about who's at the head of the who's in the chair at the White House.
Right.
That helps out a lot too.
Yeah. But well, I really appreciate you coming on, Vinny, and sharing your insights. It's good to hear, some of the things that I didn't know about as far as the other programs out there for affordability issues and trying to help home buyers. And then also what you're seeing on the, the interest rate side and everything that's going on with the mortgage industry. So before we wrap up, though, why don't you just tell everybody who's watching or who will be watching in the future, how should they, what's the best way to contact you? And, to reach out to you or ask you for any advice or questions that they may have about getting a loan or, their situation.
Phone number is always best. Call, email, or text, but I'm always on my phone. So phone number is area code 239-821-2951. And my name is Vinny Sabatino. I'm a local broker down here in Southwest Florida. Been here for 19 years. Know the area, know the people you need to be in touch with, and I'll be happy to help you out.
Awesome. Yeah, for anybody who's watching at a later point in time, you'll see all that, his contact information in the description too. So you can check it out there. I'll also have a link to his page as well in the description. So you can find that there and click down below. Any of you who are regulars watching my channel or haven't watched the channel, please subscribe. If you're on Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram right now watching me, my YouTube channel is kind of where I do everything. So that's at Living in SWFL. That's the channel name. You can just look it up and you'll find me there. Subscribe and I will keep you up to date with what's going on in the market and then also show you some home tours around the area and any tips that I can give you to help you save money or time or effort when searching for a home in the area. So appreciate you all watching. Vinny, again, thank you for joining me today and
my pleasure.
Sharing your insights. And well, those of you who's still watching here, I see there's one still left on live. Please feel free to reach out with any questions in the comments section or reach out to either myself or Vinny for any questions you have. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in. And I'll sign off with my regular sign off. As always, please stay safe, stay positive, and more importantly, stay free.